Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LPL 2025 Split 2.
Which was gained of it. Top Esports. I suppose not getting the most out of their Kalista. Now Tarzan's going to force this out and put down. Oh, Tarzan's here, calls the pack, looking to get onto Jackie, who will not be allowed to find a kill there. Now Crisp's in danger, will split himself apart, but to what end? There'll still be another Eviscerate. I imagine another W and a stun coming on through. Kyle Shield vaults in and helps secure another great play from anyone's Legends bot lane.
How do you beat
Top lane, decimating smash the wave. We'll surely finish that one in short order. TES do, however, pick up the grubs. And the dragon on the other side, likely going to be traded at a very similar timer. There's Corky Dwell, it's a really good video. Anyway, strategy there definitely catches my attention. Strategy is typically one of anyone's Legends better things. Not able to get that next grub there. 4-for-1 right now. Smite down on Kanavi though. Stop Tarzan getting on in here. Sounds like an ult from Sion to come join. Kalista helps secure the next one. Fight after. Now gets a bit dicey. TP's coming flying on in from 369, looking for an angle. Oh, Blossom comes onto the backside. Crit. Fate called out to safety. They lose Kyle on the other side. To anyone's like this 369. Now the Run down. Jackie Love will surely fall. That's a reset. And the Hounds will begin to pursue. Cream, no mana, has to flash over, but Tarzan with the Eviscerate gets onto the other side. 369 drags the Rise into the Death Realm, but a Realm Warp to the other side of the wall, even in the Death Realm, means he survives, and 369 walks out into the rest of anyone's Legend and falls down.
Top Esports don't have a strong Kalista to have a platform around. They were shut down in the laning phase to the point where Top Esports can't rely on Jackie Love carrying all of these early fights. To add insult to injury, Chris missed the Kalista knockup onto Shanks midway through that play. I think Shanks had a fantastic fight himself alongside the rest of it. Doesn't have the HP to be another front line. Top Esports, they don't really get themselves any ability to defend Jackie Love. He was just kind of shredded with no front line in front of him. Here comes Pantheon.
Comes on in with the Grand Starfall. Crisp will be burnt to his namesake. Taken out. That's another kill for Neferi. And double pink water control went onto the blast cone to prevent them using it as well is very nasty. Shanks pulled back towards 369. Away from this. Anyone's Legend getting so much value. Kanavi in that last one, remember, missed his impale too as Tarzan just flashed away from it.
Yeah, you know.
Split? So what's going on?
There was one from Broken Blade into top lane Cassandre.
That's true. Really, I mean, like this split.
This split? No, not this one separate. They had a complete split. So hang on, Shanks could be a bit of a problem.
Gets driven into a wall. There'll be an impale after. Flash out with the Merc Tread's value proving too much. Phase rush trying to get out to safety. They're still trying to run onto him. He's gonna Realm Warp away. No, he's not. Finally gets CC'd in place. As Kyle went looking at the backside, Cream goes between worlds, finds Tarzan on the other side, will hop back on the other side of the Eviscerate. Played away from, nicely played from Top Esports. The problem is, there's still a Hound's pursuit. Tarzan trying to finally get that reset. Does so. Can now look to use that ult again. Cream low. If he can get in range, could look for that. Was looking for that vision.
Here he goes.
Before that, there he goes in the backside, but doesn't quite have enough damage. The Eclipse shielding is huge though. Will W to try and find some value. Is finally shut down. But takes one with him. Cream in danger as Hope looks to fire out a few rockets. The Corgi versus the Bunny, and the dog wins that one out, I feel, in the long run.
So Tarzan misplays a little at the end of it. Doesn't quite get himself the Q2 for the healing of that. Shanks has gone towards topside, uses that teleport to set up that top lane well. At least Top Esports show how powerful they can be in these team fights if anyone's Legend don't have for that tank becomes so obnoxious.
Vision control right now, not fantastic for Top Esports. Kanavi, Excel's impact is sort of forced away into the river there. Clears out that banana brush board. Looking for another shotgun, and Cream can't find him. Clears a couple dogs out, but there's a W available.
In terms of summoning them back. Slow setup. No explosive plays right now. What that has meant is that you've bought time for the Kalista ult to come back. Jackie Love, everyone's ultimate's available. Grand majority of summoners available too. A couple of flashes down, but Chris, Kanavi, and Cream not having that means their playmaking a lot worse. Spear starting to get stacked up, and 369 can stop Flandre from coming into the play with his Realm of Death.
Not there though right now. Of course, he's down that bot side. Dragon secured. We'll have to fight after Kyle hops on forward with the shield bolt. Turns around with the Excel's impact between worlds is pulled. But not really toward them. Flandre jumps into the wall, but they blow up the Skarner. Pop Blossom back on the other side. The Grand Starfall comes flying on in. And the Fates call that Nico out to safety. Flandre has a lot of spears, but he's not really all under all that much threat. Into the Death Realm goes Kyle. Will likely die at 369. They get one back, but he's now in the middle of 4. As anyone's Legend come away with everyone but Jackie Love. And that might not even be true for very long. Will W to buy some time, and the call of the pack was not quite enough to get in range. So it'll still be Jackie Love survive, emerges into 4 people.
You know you're having a bad game when you hear they delete the Skarner. Yep, I definitely hear that one. This time, though, he might be returning the favor. Shanks is getting good damage down. That rises in the machine gun spot.
Hope just about survives on the other side, but Kanavi will die. Tarzan now with the reset. The Hound's Pursuit available onto Jacula. Has a Blasco. Drag Tarzan over the wall, but can eviscerate away. Still hit by the Tangle Barb, though. Reach between walls can come on through the pop blossoms there. They flash on him for Shanks, who does kill off Jacula on that Callista. Chris trying to run away. All the while, Cream is in a 1v3. Gets one, can't quite get out alive, though.
The machine gun rise is doing an ungodly amount of legwork here for anyone's legend. Top Esports can't deal with everyone. 369 wasn't even at that plate.
With Scion, 2 items himself. You're looking at 2.5 items on this Rise, who stopped off for the arm guard, but has also gone for a Negatron cloak because, of course, he needs more resists. This guy is so obnoxious at this point. Gets the route onto Cream. He's got nowhere ready to go. In comes the Grand Starfall, and Cream is eaten up like the dessert he is named for. Dies out. Kyle picks that one up, and Top Esports are falling apart in game 1 at this point if they weren't already in pieces.
The only thing that's a shame is that the support isn't there too. Legend can be having themselves some donut gaming in the Krispy Kreme. They have feasted on everything on the Rift and the Snack Conqueror. Yeah, it's a lot of damage, isn't it? Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. Grease Knight is still. Hang on, he's trying to steal red buff. He's getting smited away anyway, doesn't it?
He's in a 1v3. Can of course Death Realm. Trying to trade out on Tarzan. Does a fair amount of work. What about the rest of Top Esports? They're buying a lot of time for people to come on over. Tarzan will immediately go into a W, takes a lot of damage back, and now this jungler's in a lot of danger. Tries to eviscerate away. And a flash over the wall for that massive Soul Furnace. Gets one back, though. Does Crisp, but dies doing it. What about the Rumble coming on in? Here is Shanks into the pit to pick up the Aurora. Kanavi can't RB, and he dies as well.
Top Esports might have just lost the game over a red buff take in the LPL, and it hasn't looked that close, actually.
No, it hasn't. The early lane dominance bot side was crushed before it could ever really begin. The Skarner has found very little impact with the ults. And on the other side of it, Kyle on the Pantheon, everywhere. Tarzan on this Neferi, everything.
Now, this is why, you know, in LEC and in LCK, when I see the Neferi losing, I am aghast. This champion has ruled the junglers because they're allowed to play their junglers to be carries a little bit more instead of doing more of the traditional utility and CC. Right here, you're against the Mordekaiser and Tarzan. Gastic just gets so much work down with the Hex Drink, of course, helping him out too. The healing, Cream's died as we come back to life. That bunny's been put down like they've got myxomatosis. As anyone's legend, there's just another one on the hunt.
They are... Chris needs to back away a little bit here as Kyle just runs at him. Conqueror stack. There's a TP into the pit as Flondre's now here as well. Kanavi now in danger, gets knocked up by the unstoppable onslaught. 369 gets the darkness rising around it, but Kyle can immune so much of it with the Aegis as Dalton Tarzan gets his reset. Looking for another angle on in. 369 into the death realm with hope. Trying to win that one of a flash out of the obliterate. Keeps the Corki alive. Kyle will step on forward and trade his life, but Tarzan avenges him with a triple kill to boot. This game is over.
This game's been over for a while. This is just the confirmation of it, heading towards that bot side. That'll be the base broken. Will it be the end of the game here? No, I think with the reset coming in from Cream, that won't be the case, but anyone's legend, very, very confident game here. Have to revisit the point that we made earlier on. This is not an easy composition to play from anyone's legend. I was worried for them heading in against Top Esports on paper before the drafts came in, because anyone's legend, they don't have as strong regular standard lanes in my eye as Top Esports. With lane swaps being removed, I was worried about them. So one of the biggest things that they succeeded at last split, that they've put a lot of those worries to rest, at least for this game.
Looking at the other side of this now, Tarzan. We always know him for having a playbook for the early game. At his best, he's someone with a great opportunity to mess up those early pathing, and Kanavi has been the recipient of him. He's just not a tank anymore. Shanks deletes him. On the other side, Cream and Chris going to try and find an angle, and it does look okay, but just not enough damage. Kyle stays alive, and Chris burns his life to find nothing. I get the Top Esports are in desperation stations. It's flip the dice and pray, but it is all so weighted against them. They've gone gambling, and unfortunately, the house always wins. Anyone's legend. Looking like everyone's legend today. Shanks goes golden. Jacula not able to pull the rend out. He's now going to get Hound's Pursuit and flashes to what end? You don't get to run away from the Hounds of Hell. This time dressed up as hot dogs. Eat your dinner, mate. You're going to food coma for at least another 35 seconds. It's over.
Anyone's legend will claim the first victory here in a finals rematch from last split. And to be honest, folks, this wasn't really close. We thought Top Esports came in with a better draft. We thought Top Esports came in with better run.